Hare Krishna devotees, today we are going to be discussing two verses from the chapter number 16, which discusses about the importance of the scriptural injections. 16.23 Bhagavad-gītā. Yashastra viddhim utsrajya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. You see, we always aim for one of these three, isn't it? Either all the living entities would like to be happy. Naturally, everybody wants to be happy. There's nobody who doesn't want to be happy. Or they expect for perfection, siddhi, that is some kind of liberation. Or the best is if you can go back to Godhead. That's like the topmost best thing that can happen to you. That's like going back to God, param gatim. So these are the three best things that can happen to us, right? Either getting perfection or happiness or supreme destination. But here this verse says no, you will not get the happiness, you will not get perfection, you will not get the supreme destination also. When is that? So that means it's very important. Let's see what is that Krishna is saying. We should not be doing what we should be careful about so that we don't miss out on these three wonderful opportunities that everybody is seeking. What's that? Let's see that. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims. So what is that? What are these scriptural injunctions? These scriptural injunctions are called Shastra. Srila Prabhupada explains very beautifully in the Science of Self-Realization what is the purpose of scriptural injunctions. The purpose of the scriptural injunctions, it may be any scripture, the purpose is to regulate us. You see, without any scriptures or without any scriptural rules, what happens is a human being has a tendency to become sinful. How? By trying to enjoy unlimitedly. So Shastra or the scriptures give a set of rules and regulations, guidelines which help us not to be sinful and to be progressing in the right direction. This is called as Shastra Vidhi. Shastra. So this Shastra is an interesting word. So it comes from the Shas Dhatu. Shas means to command it. Shas is a command. Shas means you must do it. When the Shas Dhatu comes, Shastra is coming from Shas Dhatu. So Shashana, we know Shasan. Shasan means what? It is to rule. So it is just like a rule. It is like a must. It is like there is no option. It's not optional. I mean, I'll do it if I want to do it. I'll do it if I can do it. It's not like that. It is like must do it. Shas Dhatu means must do it. Shastra and Shastra, right? So Shastra are the weapons, the weapon, it is a weapon. Shastra is also a weapon, but in a different way. It's a weapon of instruction. So it is a must. So it is like Shastra. So God's words are the Shastra. This Shastra, we must have faith in the Shastra. That is very important. From these words we understand that. Because in the Kali Yuga, the entire population is surcharged with faithlessness. So as a part of the faithlessness, there are a lot of demons who try to make kind of a propaganda that these Shastras have been written by human being. These have been written by a human being. They are human made. They are manufactured. They have written it that way. I mean, somebody wrote Bhagavad-gītā, somebody wrote this book, somebody wrote that book. No, we have to, let's understand, let's tackle that, okay? A human being, if a human being writes a book, definitely I agree that book is having defects. And we cannot consider that as Shastra. Can be anybody, can be very, very educated person who has many degrees, very extraordinary scholar, might write some kind of books after reading so much of research, but still it is defective. Why is it defective? It is defective because human beings have four imperfections. There are four defects of human beings. So these four tendencies of human beings are said to be making mistakes. Human beings commit mistakes. Human beings, they are subject to illusion. Human beings, they have a tendency to cheat. And human beings have imperfect senses. So just like, for example, it is quite possible that, a surgeon can do a mistake and say, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. It's possible. And it is possible that the Supreme Court judge can become illusioned. At that point of time, maybe he saw some evidence, maybe he got carried away and he gave a judgment. But later he realizes over time, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, that, okay, I think I did a mistake. When I delivered this justice, now I realized that it was a mistake. Okay, I got illusioned when I saw this. Possible. And it is possible that there can be a tendency to cheat, just like, politicians. They will say that, I am trying to do good for the society. I'm trying to do this for your sake, like that. But actually they're cheating. They have some other kind of agenda. And it is possible that, human beings can have imperfect senses. Like, for example, there is a scientist who's writing a scientific paper. Okay, let's say there's a physicist who's making some kind of observations. But, what has happened is because of his long sight, he's unable to see properly and he has recorded one value wrongly. And because of that, the entire research is wrong. But the research got published and everybody is taking that research very seriously and taking it forward. So this is called as the four defects of human beings. Human beings, if they write or if they do anything, if they manufacture, whatever they do, every human being has these four defects. Therefore, whatever human being does it is defective. But now, how can we say that this Shastra is not defective? This is the point that we have to discuss. This Shastra is not written by a human being. This Shastra is given by God Himself. How do we understand that? Krishna has given the Shastra to Lord Brahma. So Krishna is out of these four defects. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna never commits mistakes. We never see that Krishna is saying that, oh, I did a mistake. Oh, I should not have actually taken the side of the Kauravas. I should not have taken the side of the Pandavas. I think I should have taken the side of Kauravas. Oh, it was a mistake. Oh, it was a mistake. I said Dronacharya should be killed, but now I review that, oh, we should not have done that. No, Krishna will never, it will never happen with Krishna. Nor Krishna will get illusion that, when Duryodhana is trying to call Krishna for a nice feast and say, and try to, pamper him and trying to show that he's a very nice friend of Krishna. Krishna doesn't get carried away, illusion that, oh, so nice. Duryodhana is taking care of me so nicely. He has given me such a nice feast. He's such a nice person. No, he doesn't get illusion like that. Nor does he have a tendency to cheat. In fact, Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā that he is the best friend and well-wisher for every human being. Not only human being, every living entity is the best friend for every living entity. And he actually doesn't want to cheat. He wants us to come out of this cheating. So right now we have been cheated by the illusory energy, and Krishna is trying to help us out to come out of this business of surrendering to the Maya. How to come out of this cheating and cheated business? Either we cheat or we get cheated. How to come out of it is what Krishna is trying to help us. Nor Krishna's senses are imperfect. We never see that Krishna is wearing some spectacle or a hearing aid or some kind of something, anything like that. His senses are just perfect. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he doesn't do any mistake, and whatever he has given in the Shastra is just perfect. So we are unable to understand it properly, or we are unable to follow it in the right perspective. So the spiritual master always repeats whatever Krishna gives. So whatever injunctions that the Shastra has given, whatever instructions the Supreme Personality of Godhead has given, whatever instruction the spiritual master tells to us, we have to follow it as it is, and we should not try to speculate and try to see some defects in it and try to say, okay, maybe the spiritual master said this at that point of time. Okay, it was applicable in Dwapar Yuga, but it's not applicable now. Okay, they said, oh, you have to do this kind of rules, regulations. This is not possible in Kali Yuga. This is for the Dwapar Yuga. This is for Satya Yuga. Actually, it's not true, because the spiritual master has tailored these Shastra rules for us and exactly given us what we can follow. Just like how Srila Prabhupada, he went to the West. You see, the people in the West, they're addicted to sinful reactions, like sinful actions. Just like they're addicted to eating cow meat, they're addicted to drinking coffee, tea, and womanizing, all these kind of bad habits that they have. So then, he has given the kind of rules and regulations that they have to be following, right? So it's not that he has given some impractical rules, right? So whatever the acharyas have given are perfect rules. It's just that I am not able to follow it. So at least we should first of all accept the rules and regulations and then say, actually, you know what? These rules are perfect, but somehow I am so imperfect, I am not able to do it. Let me pray to Krishna that I get strength to follow these rules and regulations. And I have complete belief that if I follow these rules and regulations, one day I shall achieve perfection. So this is the point, devotees. The idea is, this Shastra is given by Krishna to us, and then this Bhagavad Gita particularly, okay, is the instructions of Krishna himself. Krishna's the Bhagavan Swami, he is the Supreme Personality of God himself, giving instructions to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And then people ask, who has recorded it? Was there some kind of live camera? Who did this? See, it was recorded by Vyasdev, sorry. It was recorded by Vyasdev. And who is Vyasdev? Is he a human being? Again, Vyasdev, maybe he is a human being, and maybe when he was noting down, he was a little bit distracted. It was just, somebody called him and then he suddenly lost one verse and he made up some verse. No, it's not like that. Vyasdev is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is actually the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, called Shakti Avesha Avatar. So Vyasadev is the literary incarnation of the Lord, who has written the Vedas. How do you prove that? Maybe Vyasadev is a human being. What is the feat, what is the extraordinary feat that Vyasadev has done that we can agree that he is the personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead? I'll tell you what he has done. Vyasadev has compiled the Veda, which was only one Veda, into 4 parts. Okay, single-handedly, Vyasadev has compiled the Veda into 4 parts. That's the first feat. And the next thing that he did is he wrote Mahabharata. Mahabharata is 1,00,000 verses. It is actually the largest epic in the world. There is no epic which is close to that. And not only that, that's not his only work. He has compiled the Vedas which were already present. He wrote an original work, Mahabharata, and he wrote the Puranas, 18 Puranas. If you combine all the number of verses in the Puranas, it's just extraordinary. And no human being can compete with Vyasadev. It's very, very tiny. All the human beings put together, the number of poems that they have written, and just Vyasadev alone, what he has written is just extraordinary. Okay, just for examples, this Skanda Purana alone has 60,000 verses, right? And then we have Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. Similarly, if put together all of these Puranas, it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of verses. And not only that, Vyasadev has written Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is again an original work written by Vyasadev, and it is considered to be the best among all the literatures in the world. If you want the best of the best of the best of the best philosophy, there cannot be anything above Vedanta Sutras. It's like the topmost cream, where Krishna also refers to Vedanta Sutras when he is telling Bhagavad-gītā. He says Brahma Sutra. In the Brahma Sutras it is said like this. Krishna says like that. And Krishna also says that Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidyaham. He says that among the knowledge, I am the Vedanta Sutras. Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā. So this is extraordinary knowledge that Vyasadeva has given. So coming back to the point that this is Shastra which is given by perfect personality. It is given by the Supreme Lord and compiled by Vyasadeva, who is the spiritual master. So we have to follow these instructions. Whatever instructions have been given in the Shastras, we should try to follow. Of course, there may be many instructions given in the Shastras. There are thousands of instructions. Actually, in fact, there is a question that is asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to Suta Goswami. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see these questions. And in this question, we have one of the questions that is Bhurini Bhuri Karmani. He says that there are so many varieties of scriptures. Bhurini Bhuri Karmani. Shrotavyani Vibhagashaha. Atas sadhotra yatsaram samudhartya manishaya. Bruhi Bhadraya Bhutanam Yenatma Suprasidati. This is the question asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to the Suta Goswami. The question is, there are many varieties of scriptures, and in all of them, there are many prescribed duties which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select the essence of all these scriptures and explain it for the good of all human beings and living beings, that by such instruction their hearts may become fully satisfied. In other words, they are asking, you see, even if you take just Mahabharata itself, just to complete Mahabharata, read Mahabharata entirely, in its entirety, the original work, 1 lakh verses would take a long time. Just Mahabharata alone. Then what to talk about the 18 Puranas, what to talk about all the Dharma Shastras, what to talk about Vedanta Sutras, what to talk about all the Vedas, what to talk about the 108 Upanishads. It is impossible. It is not humanly possible that we can read all of this, understand it, and start implementing all the instructions given in this. So what do we do? Bhurini Bhuri Karmani, Shrotavyani Vibhagashaha. There are so many injunctions. Just pick up some instructions which all living entities can easily follow, and then they can get liberated. That is the question. So for that, the answer given by the Suta Goswami, it was a very simple instruction that Suta Goswami gives, that all you have to do is you have to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He says, by rendering devotional service to the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. He says, don't worry, it's okay. You may not be able to follow all these instructions of the Vedas. Just follow this instruction, only one instruction. You just follow the instructions, you just worship Lord Krishna. You do pure devotional service as explained by the Acharyas. That's it. That's it. This one thing is enough. So, we have to follow this most important instruction of the Shastra to attain the ultimate perfection of life. That is called as Shastra Vidhi. That is, we have to follow, we have to worship Lord Krishna, and we should follow the instructions given by the spiritual master. Then we will be able to make the best use of this human body. So whatever human body has been given to us, it will come to a perfection if we simply follow this one instruction. That is, to rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness and to perform devotional service as explained by the Acharyas. So that is, again, devotional service can be performed at 3 levels. One is called as the 3rd class, one is called as 2nd class, one is called as 1st class. So 3rd class devotional service means anybody who is worshipping Lord Krishna occasionally and not able to understand the difference between who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who are the other demigods. If you are not able to distinguish who is God and who is not God, okay, that's called 3rd class devotional service. If a person sees Krishna only in the temple. So you see, there are so many devotees like that, in the temple we see Krishna, we think, oh, here is Krishna, Krishna is inside the temple. Okay, but outside the temple, not able to see Krishna. That is third class devotional service. And then let us say, not able to find out the difference between a devotee of the Lord and a non-devotee of the Lord. Not able to distinguish that, okay, devotee of the Lord are not different from Krishna. We have to respect all the devotees of the Lord because they are all devotees of Krishna. So it is an injunction of the Shastra. Krishna is saying you have to worship Mad-bhakta puja adhika, Krishna says. That means you have to worship my devotee. Then I will be impressed. It's not that you directly come to me and worship me, then I will become very impressed. It never happens like that. You have to come through the devotees. You worship the devotee, you become the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the devotee. Then we can go back to God. Then Krishna becomes very merciful towards us. So this is called a Shastra Vidhi. The third class devotee ignores all of this. So third class devotee does not follow any kind of rules and regulations when following the devotional service. There are some rules and regulations which are given in the Shastra, like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Srimad Bhagavatam, and given by our Vaishnava Acharyas, that there are 4 regulative principles that we should be following. Just like, no meat eating. We should not kill animals and eat their meat. No intoxication. No alcohol has to be consumed and no coffee, tea has to be consumed. And then we should not do illicit sex. That is, having illicit relationships outside of marriage is prohibited. And gambling. We should not be doing any sort of gambling whatsoever. Any kind of betting, gambling, or any high stake kind of things we should not be doing. These are the 4 regulative principles given by the Acharyas. And this is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that these 4 regulative principles break the 4 principles of dharma and they make us sinful. It's called Yatra Papa Chaturvida. It's called Chaturvida Papa. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is given. These 4 regulatives have to be followed. 4 regulative principles. Otherwise we become sinful. And Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that the Kali resides in these 4 and we will never be able to progress. So the third class devotee does not take care of this kind of a regulative principles. So what we have to do is we have to come from third class to second class. I'll tell you what is second class devotee. Second class devotee understands the difference. First of all, he understands the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He has clarity. He doesn't get confused. So it is not like some kind of a seasonal devotional service. You see, we do seasonal devotional service. So when there is some season, we do the worship of that. So now Ganesh Chaturthi is coming, we do Ganapati Bhakti, next Navaratri Bhakti, next Shivaratri Bhakti. So like this is called seasonal devotional service. So second class devotee is not a seasonal devotee, he is always a devotee of the Lord. He knows that he is Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Varja. He is a surrendered soul. So it is a second class devotee, he knows that he is called Madhyamadhikari. It's very clear who is God. And he has got clarity who are devotees, who are not devotees, and he gives respect to the devotees and then tries to stay away from the non-devotees, or he preaches to the non-devotees and makes them into devotees, or to the envious people he stays away from the envious people. This is the second class devotee. Third class devotee, we have done. First class devotee is a devotee Uttamadhikari who cannot be manufactured. See, there is no something that you do this and you will get this. It is not like that. It is only possible by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna that one can become first class from second class. It is not possible to manufacture by telling, okay, you do this and you will become Uttamadhikari. It's not possible. So first class devotee, he sees that he is able to see Krishna everywhere in everybody. He is not making any differentiation between anybody and he is in a very topmost platform. All the verses of Bhagavad-gītā where Krishna explains that, you are able to see your enemy and your friend on the same platform. Right? Even if you are having dishonor, if somebody comes and insults or even kicks or beats with a stick or even does some kind of sanmana also, this devotee is not disturbed by either of them. That is Uttamadhikari. So, but the first point is our acharyas are saying first you become second class devotee from third class. Then there is possibility that you can come to the first class. Otherwise, it is never possible we will be able to come to the first class. So if we cannot come to the second class devotional service, we will never be able to become first class devotees and never be able to get the Param Gatim, that is the supreme perfection of life. So therefore, it is important that we have to follow whatever has been given by the Acharyas. Okay, let us continue. There's one more verse. Let's finish this. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavastitau jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So Krishna is concluding this chapter number 16 with this verse. Every conclusive verse is very important, obviously, because when a teacher says, now everybody pay attention, I am closing this lesson, so here is the conclusion, then we all pay attention. So we have to pay attention what Krishna is saying. Tasmat shastram pramanante karya vyavastitau. Therefore, what is the golden standard for us for deciding what is duty and what is not duty? How do we decide? So how are we deciding right now? How do we decide what we should do, what we should not do? For example, at every stage of our life, we are at crossroads. We have decisions to make. Either we can go out of the city or stay in the city. We can take up certain job or not take up certain job. Either we can continue the education or stop the education. Either we can get married or not get married. So every time we are having doubts. Every point of time we have some doubts. So every time what do? We ask our parents, we ask our brother, we ask our sister, we ask our friends, like that. So and then these parents and friends, everybody, what are they using? They're using their common sense, their whatever they think is right, they're telling. So if parents or friends or our influencers or our leaders or teachers or well-wishers, whoever they may be, if they are not aligned with the Shastra, what if they give an instruction which is against the Shastra? For example, it is quite possible that somebody can say that, why are you doing all this chanting? You should not be chanting. In our family, nobody does all of this. Okay, you've gone mad. If you do this, very soon you will go mad. You will give up everything. Okay, listen to my nice advice. I tell you very good advice. Stop all of this and become normal. Otherwise, you are finished. Should we take that instruction? For example, that's very commonly we get this kind of instructions, right? You don't do all of this. There's a lot of time. In the old age, you should do. This is not for us. Something like that they will say. If we follow the instruction, we will become doomed. It is called in the Shastras, Prahlad Maharaj says, blind leading the blind. That means there is a blind person who is blind, who is not able to see, and who is walking towards the valley, about to fall down. And then this blind, instead of just admitting that I am blind and seeking for help, is saying, everybody follow me, I have got a path. Okay, and everybody, the thousands of people are following, all his well-wishers, friends, everybody is taking them, and they are also blind. And this person is falling into the valley and making everybody fall into the valley. That's what happens when we follow, whoever well-wishers, friends, whatever they may be, if they are not aligned with the Shastras, not aligned with the spiritual master, not aligned with Bhagavad-gītā, if we follow their instruction, we are only going to be doomed. That's what Krishna is also saying here. Therefore, we have to understand by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. We have to be guided by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, not by anybody else. We should ask Guru. If we have a doubt, we should ask Guru. We see so many question and answer sessions by our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. There are so many thousands of questions that he has answered. There are so many questions that were put to Srila Prabhupada. All these questions are recorded. They are present on YouTube. You can always search in all these websites and YouTube, etc. And you can get answers for all the questions. It's answered almost all the kind of basic questions that people get. And even if we have some kind of question, and if we are not able to understand what we should do, we can always write to Guru Maharaj. Okay, his mail is also available. So all the spiritual masters, they are open and accessible, and they are ready to answer. You see, for example, there was one devotee who was asking that, Guru Maharaj, I am running a supermarket. Okay, in that supermarket we are selling onion garlic, but onion garlic is prohibited, and therefore I am not getting initiation. What should I do now? Something like that. This is a question. And Guru Maharaj answered him, and he said, as long as you're not selling non-vegetarian, it should be okay. Something like that. You don't sell non-vegetarian. We say that you should not sell any meat products, or you should not be involved in killing animals, then you will be disqualified from initiation. Like that, the answer came. This is called asking the guru. And you should ask a sadhu. That means you should ask the practicing devotees. You can ask any devotee any kind of question. Okay, this is the kind of difficulty that I am having. I am not able to follow this at the moment. This is the problem that I am having at home. What should I do? How should we do? I am not able to worship Tulsi. What should I do? So something like that. This is the kind of question that we should ask sadhu. We should ask guru. We should ask sadhu. We should consult the shastra. We should see Bhagavad-gītā. And then we have the Dharma Shastras. We have Srimad Bhagavatam explains how we should conduct ourselves in a family life, right? And then we have the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, and then we have the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All the Prabhupada books have given us so much of guidance. It has given, if you want to read, you can even still read more, like, you can read letters given by Srila Prabhupada, or, the books written by disciples of Srila Prabhupada about their interactions with Prabhupada, what kind of instructions they got, what did Srila Prabhupada say, how they should live in their family life, all of this. This is the way we have to consult a spiritual master. Okay, so for example, if there is a child, okay, let's say there's a child born, okay, we should go to the guru, spiritual master, and say, we should ask spiritual master, like, okay, what is the kind of samskaras we should do for this child? And we should request the spiritual master to do it, or some nice devotee to do it. Something like that, okay? At every crossroad, at every junction, about to get married or about to get your kids married, you should take permission from the spiritual master, write a letter and say, okay, my dear Guru Maharaj, I want to, get married. Like this, we should ask for permission and say, this is what happening. And then the Guru Maharaj will ask a question, okay, whom are you getting married? Is it a devotee or not? These are the kind of questions you will get, and then you have to answer. So this is called spiritual guidance. If we take simply guidance from friends and non-devotees and etc., what will happen? That's what Krishna is saying. If we just act whimsically, right? Whimsical action is not allowed in Bhagavad Gita. Whimsical action is not allowed in Shastra. Shastra means it's compulsory. It's not that there is no option that you can do whatever you want. You can do always, of course, living entities can do whatever they want. But then be prepared. Na sa siddhim avapnoti, na sukham na param gatim. Neither perfection in life can be attained, nor happiness can be attained, nor the supreme destination can be attained. Therefore, we have to understand the duty and what is not duty, what is to be done, what is not to be done. We have to understand from the regulations of the scriptures. So if a person dies, what is it that we should do? We should know this. Even people do not have this basic knowledge also. We have to find out, okay, if a person has died, what is the next thing that we should do? Okay, we have to apply tilak, we have to get a mala, nirmalya, that is flower garland offered to Radha Krishna and give it to, you should put it on the dead body. You should try to help that living entity to go back to Godhead. For example, you have to recite the verses of Bhagavad-gītā. Or you should donate Srimad Bhagavatam. The departed soul, any departed soul is there. On their name, if you donate Srimad Bhagavatam on Bhadra Purnima, that person goes back to Godhead. This we should be knowing. We cannot say, I don't know, nobody told me. So this is not acceptable that, I don't know, nobody told me. We have to find out what it is and we have to do it. As simple as that. If you don't know, we should just ask and find out. You should either ask the guru, ask your spiritual master, or ask the sadhu, ask the devotees, or find it out yourself. Read Prabhupada books, read Srimad Bhagavatam, read Bhagavad-gītā, read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, read Hari Bhakti Vilasa, read all of these books and try to find out what we should do. Right? So here, let's conclude this verse. So ultimately here, one important point is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually made this process very easy. Like I said, there are many scriptures, too many rules to be followed, but the simplified process is this. Simply chant the names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Eat the remnants of foodstuff offered to the deity. Actually, this is not very difficult. Whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given is not a difficult process. It is the easiest process of liberation. Krishna is saying it is very, very enjoyable. Susukam kartum avyayam. I'll tell you one simple example. Okay, the other processes are not. Let me clearly explain this. Okay, I was talking to one of my friends who is associated with one of these very popular meditation centers. Okay, so I was asking, like, I was explaining like how we celebrated Janmashtami, and I was asking how did they celebrate Janmashtami in their Shantivanam or something. Yeah. So there, they asked, okay, what did you do for Janmashtami? They said, well, we all sat and we meditated. Okay, very nice. Okay, what else did you do? We all sat and meditated. Okay, we had some bland food. Okay, fine. But you know what we did? We had so much of fun. We enjoyed it so much. Our Janmashtami was so vibrant. Okay, so it was like our Janmashtami was filled with kirtan. It was filled with Krishna Katha. It was filled with prasadam and so much of fun. I mean, we had dances, we had drama. It is susukam kartumavyayam. It is full of energy, full of vibrancy. We're not sitting and eating some bland food or just meditating. We're not doing anything like that. We never see that Arjuna was sitting and meditating any point of time. Right? In any time, do you see that Arjuna was sitting and meditating? He never did that after Bhagavad-gītā. So devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given such a nice process. He says just chant, sing and dance and go back to God. Eat prasadam. He's saying you can eat the wonderful prasadam offered to the Lord, such nice tasty foods offered to the Lord, and eat your way back to Godhead. Prabhupada is saying eat your way back to Godhead. That means you can just eat and go back to Godhead. So this is the process of devotional service. We have to carefully follow this, and it cannot be easier than this. Okay, it's like the easiest syllabus. Nobody can complain that, oh, this is very difficult for me. No, this is the easiest path to go back to Godhead. And Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it very, very easy for us, right? So therefore, we have to follow this and go back to Godhead. Okay? Okay, devotees, I think we'll stop here. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions, you can ask, or any comments or anything that you want to add that I missed, yeah, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavas Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Anybody heard or nobody's hearing?
We all heard, Prabhuji.
Okay.
We have understood it. Thank you very much for a wonderful class. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
Dandavas
Prabhuji,
Pranam.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranams.
You
Hare
drive,
Krishna,
you drive,
Prabhuji.
you
Dandavat
drive,
Pranam.
you drive the
Hare
front
Krishna to all
so
devotees.
well, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
Mataji, can you come again?
I said you drive the point so well, Prabhu. Thank you for the.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
And when it takes a lot of effort, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. We will see you. Hare Krishna.